hopefully it doesn't hit this cone. So there's a sign that says no through traffic. Unable to complete maneuver, please assist now. Okay, exactly the same as what we came up against on Tuesday. That's cool. So it recognizes I can't do this. You need to do it for me. But I think we're, compared to Tuesday, it's done a little bit better. Not significantly enough for me to say, wow, huge improvement. It drives so much better. And I've seen a lot of people saying that. We have the right to go right now, and hopefully it's going to go. Okay, the other car, is giving me the go-ahead, and I gave him... Okay, so the car really should have gone there, and now it says checking for visibility. I'm just going to report this here. And once again, it's not going. So this is not good at all. And now this other car is coming. Nobody behind us. But being very, very strange. It should have gone. I just let 2 people go when it should have gone much, much sooner. Hey everybody, John here. Today is Thursday, April 14th. It's 2 days after I shot my last video, which was on the previous version of Full Self-Driving Beta. I did get that same evening version 10.11.2, and then all day yesterday it was rainy and gloomy, and it just wasn't good for testing. But today it is great weather, except that it's extremely windy. But we're going to go ahead and test the same route. It's about the same time here, and I'm at my office. We're going to take it to the pharmacy, and then we're going to take it to the neighborhood area, and then back to my home. So the exact same route. We're going to see if 10.11.2 does a better job or a worse job compared to Tuesday. All right, so once again, just like Tuesday, we're going to have an awkward time getting out of this area. I'm going to let it do its thing just to follow the maps, which is incorrect. And we're going to see if it does the same thing that it did before. I'm expecting fully that it will, but we'll find out here. So I am dialed in to go to the pharmacy, and we'll go ahead and turn it on. So the right turn signal immediately went on, kind of indicating that it needs to go right. And it's going to come through here, awfully fast today. And then slowing down, coming into here. Oh, this is different compared to Tuesday. Very, very assertive, very quickly going through there. I was surprised the speed there. It seems like it changed its mind there at the last second. And coming up through here and putting on its left turn signal. And this is a, there's no way to get through this area. So I am fully prepared to let it fail. Okay, the sun is awfully bright in here. And it's coming through this area. And we're gonna see it's not gonna be able to get through here, but hopefully it doesn't hit this cone. Okay, so there's a cone there. Just barely may have hit it. And then it's gonna come up here and realize that it can't get through here. So there's a sign that says no through traffic. And it wants to go through here, and it's hesitating, thinking about it, but it really can't go through here. So there's a chain, and yeah, not going to be able to do it. I'm going to have to disengage here because this is a no-go area for sure.
A few moments later.
All right, so the goal of my channel here is to track how Full Self-Driving Beta is improving over time, and for that reason I'm tracking the disengagements and the interventions. Similar to yesterday, we do have one disengagement with that GPS maps issue. Can't really blame Beta for that because that is a maps problem. I'm hopeful that Beta can learn from that and then suggest an alternative path, but so far I have not seen that happen. And that's one of the biggest issues I have with Beta, is that a lot of times it just gets the path wrong. So now that the path is dialed in correctly, or at least it's corrected itself, we'll go ahead and turn it on. So coming up here, this is a very challenging left turn. There's quite a bit of traffic on this street. It is about 6 p.m. It's a little bit past rush hour, but kind of still at the tail end of rush hour. So we may have quite a bit of traffic to deal with. Right now there is no traffic. This is perfect time to go left. Very smoothly coming out, no issues there. So in the past, it would hesitate a lot. It seems to hesitate less than it used to, but still, I'd say similar to before, not a huge improvement. Now, I was testing 10.11.2 yesterday, a little bit in the rain, and I didn't notice any significant improvements. Some people have been saying, oh, it's so much better, and then other people are saying it's not better, but more people that I've seen, at least, are saying that it's better than it was before. So we're going to see if that's the case here today. But again, just as I've mentioned many times before, you cannot draw any firm conclusions based on one drive alone. You have to really take it 2 or 3 times. You have to get a sample set in order to really come to a conclusion. So if somebody's saying it's a lot better, don't believe them, especially if they're saying that right away after a release just comes out. Going through this intersection, green arrow, no problems, keeping up with the flow of traffic. It is going 45 miles per hour, 5 over the speed limit. That's exactly what I have set. And there's one car behind us. I do love having this backup camera so you can see what's going on behind me. Hopefully we're not going to annoy anybody this time. That is one of the biggest problems I have with full self-driving beta, is it's just extremely awkward around other drivers, especially those behind you. So you do need to be very careful and ready to take over at a moment's notice. Coming up here though, we are going to be turning left. It's getting over early enough. Same as before, it doesn't turn on the left turn signal early enough, at least in my opinion. But what has changed with 10.11.2 is that when it does make a lane change, that lane turns blue. Previously it wouldn't do that. I'm going to expand the screen here just so you can get a nice view. It's going through very nicely, no traffic there, and a lot of sun now that is in our view. So it looks like a cloud is going to cover it up, which is nice, but the cameras don't seem to mind when the sun is front facing. When the sun is on the left or on the right side of the car, sometimes those side cameras, the B pillar or the A pillar cameras, but I think it's actually even the cameras in front of them that look back kind of on the road to see the lines. If those cameras are blinded by the sun, then it's a big issue. I'm not sure exactly which one, but it'll say left side left repeater camera blocked or something to that effect, and then it will just disable itself. So you can't use these features if it's really blinded. So at about a mile here, we're going to be turning right on Roselle Road, and on Tuesday when it made that right turn, before it turned right, it got in the left turn lanes. It was very, very strange. I'd never seen that happen before. We're going to see if it happens here. So actually, to tell the truth, I had to go back and retest this path. So this is the second time, actually the third time I'm testing this. The last time I tested it, which was just about 40 minutes back, my GoPro camera died. So I had to go back and start this path again. But before it died, it did it just fine. So out of 2 tries now, well, obviously, you know, we have a new beta version. It's gotten it once. It's gotten it correct once and incorrect once. So we're at a 50-50 success rate right now. We're going to see here with this third drive how it does.
A few moments later.
Okay, getting over in the right lane. It's very good because it does need to turn right here. So that's an improvement compared to Tuesday. And it needs to get over one more lane. Struggling a little bit late to do that. So earlier when I did this, it was also a little bit late to get into that right turn lane, but way better compared to Tuesday. So we are already ahead by 1 disengagement. On Tuesday, by this time, we had another disengagement. So I'm going to count that first disengagement still in the parking lot where it just can't get out. So that's still an issue. And then coming up here, we're going to turn left onto Wise Road. So this is an interesting one because the other day it made the same issue. What'll happen is it gets over in the left lane. So this road on Wise Road has 2 lanes to it. And I believe the one on the far right ends up merging. So it's just 1 lane in the end. I could be wrong. But the point is we need to get over into this pharmacy relatively quickly. So as you can see here, we're going to be turning left and then right immediately. So yeah, and it does look like it kind of merges into 1 lane, doesn't it? Hard to tell. But anyway, when we come up into this pharmacy, it was just very slow on Tuesday to do that. And we have a car here in back of us, so I might have to intervene here. And this happened again earlier tonight as well. I just had to take over to not be awkward. Okay, so once again, it's slowing down. So that could create an accident. So I'm going to accelerate forward, just help it out a little bit. And then it'll come into here just fine. Okay, tight with that car coming and then turning into the Walgreens. Okay, nice. And same as yesterday, we do have a car, and now we have a pedestrian walking into the store there. Okay, not bad. All right. And it's going to come around here. All right. So it brings us to the front door of the Walgreens. So now that we're here, I'm just going to pull forward a little bit so I'm out of the way of any cars that might come, and I'm going to dial in the next destination. I'm going to do the same waypoint test. So I'm going to dial in 2 destinations.
A few moments.
All right, so there we go. We've got them dialed in. Go ahead and turn it on. Okay, immediately the right turn signal turns on, and it's going to have to come through here. This is a very tight turn. A car coming in at the same time. And when I tested this a little bit earlier, it screwed this up. It didn't turn quickly enough. Okay, go, 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 come on, you can do this. Okay, very tight, but it actually made it. Okay, so 2 out of 3 times it made it. Earlier I had to take over because it didn't do it fast enough, or it didn't turn aggressively enough. Okay, and coming up here, it's a red light. We can turn right on red here, and it's good to go. It really should go. I'm going to wait. So this person behind me, hard to tell if they are also turning right. And they're not too impatient. I'm just keeping an eye on their facial expressions here. And there's quite a bit of cars here coming, so you know, it's not a big problem that it's not going. You know, as a human driver, I would have gone, but I'm not in any rush here, and it doesn't appear, at least, that the person behind me is in a big rush. Okay, now the left turn signal is on, so for the other left arrow is on for the other traffic. And now, what's really strange is it's actually going forward when it really should have gone earlier, but now it's gonna. There's some traffic coming, so not sure. It's being a little bit strange. Okay, so there we go. Now it pulls forward, and the car is beeping at me to apply some turning force to the steering wheel there. And once again, we're right in the direct sun, so hard for me to see. I'm just going to put my hand up and block my eyes a little bit here. But hopefully the cameras aren't being obstructed, at least for my for this video, for the GoPro camera. But we'll continue to go straight here and then let the navigation lead us down Salem Drive. But yeah, you know, I really look forward to testing this down in the city and in some more populated areas with more pedestrians. I think that'll be a little bit more interesting. It's hard to observe the changes when I do those tests because every time I go there, it seems to be a different path that it takes, and I don't have firm destinations dialed in as favorites right now for those more urban areas. But at least out here in the suburbs, it's operated fairly well for me. You know, generally speaking, I can get from point A to point B, whether it's 7 or 15 miles, with a couple interventions and maybe 1 disengagement. And that's pretty impressive, at least in my opinion, because you really don't need to do anything. You're just monitoring the car, and the car is doing everything on its own. And I've added a little bit of a light down here so you can see the pedals. I'm not sure with this sunlight, direct sunlight right now, if you can see them, but ooh, it's slowing down. Okay, so I let it slow down. I think it saw that car coming, trying to merge, and slowed down for them. It startled me. I almost had to accelerate to push it through. It seems to have taken extra caution there with that car, and in my opinion, really did not need to do that. But it wasn't, horrible, because I maybe would have done the same if I were driving. Now, actually, I would never would have done that. Thankfully, the person behind me is the same person that was behind me before, and they seem to be a pretty calm person. So it all depends on who's behind you, right? So here we are at this intersection, waiting for the light to turn green, awkwardly going forward when they had a turn arrow. Okay, now creeping forward and going through this intersection. Okay, great. So now we're in this neighborhood area. But yeah, I do have this light so you can see when my feet are pressing on the accelerator or the brake pedal. That's I think adds a lot, just so you can you can understand what I'm doing at all times, and I am tracking obviously through the videos as well whenever I get a disengagement or a intervention. And for anybody that's new, an intervention is when I step on the accelerator to nudge it forward when it maybe is hesitating a little bit too much, whereas a disengagement is when I step on the brake pedal and I have to stop the car from driving automatically. A disengagement also is when I jerk the steering wheel to exit out of the full self-driving beta mode. The full self-driving beta mode is on when this blue steering wheel is illuminated, and you can see the visualizations here on the road. The nice thing is that I can extend this all the way over to the left, all the way, well, pull it to the right, but extend the whole screen, so you have this nice visualization, and you can see so many details here. It does not pick up trees or fences or things like that, but it does pick up vehicles. It will pick up construction cones, and it will also pick up trash cans. When it comes to humans, it will also show the human, pedestrians walking around, and it will display dogs. And I am told that with this newer version now, it will visualize baby carts or strollers. So I haven't had that yet, but it seems interesting. I'll have to see if I can identify that in a parking lot at some point. And coming up here, we're going to turn left. So this is a little bit of a strange intersection. So slowing down, now that is not good. That if someone was behind me, they would have looked at me a little bit strangely. But yeah, I don't know what that was all about. That's definitely not as smooth as it was the past 2 times I took this path. And what I found out earlier when I was doing this test, and unfortunately my GoPro failed on me, I realized if anybody else is doing videos, format your SD card before you start these videos, because I found on a number of occasions that the video feed just stops, like it will corrupt itself. So here we are, we've arrived. Now the last time I did this, I opened up my door. Someone had told me if you get out, or if the passenger gets out, then it will allow you to continue the trip. So it's counterintuitive, because when you look at the screen, it says autopilot navigation complete, press accelerator to resume. So that's exactly what I did on Tuesday, and then it went into an infinite loop. So instead of opening up the door this time, I'm going to step on the brake pedal, but before I do that, I'm going to extend the screen over so we can see what's going on here. So here's the waypoint. If I zoom out, our next stop is over here. So we're going to do a test here. If I step on the brake pedal, let's see what happens. That's going to cancel out of this mode, by the way. I'm going to step on it. Okay. And it looks like it's still not allowing me to move on to the next destination. So it does appear that you do have to open the door. But I'm going to do one other test before I open the door. I'm going to put the car into park. Hopefully, you know what? If I put it into park, I think that will get rid of the destinations. Now, I'm gonna try it. Okay, so you put it into park, and it doesn't take out the destination. Here it says continue trip. So I'll go ahead and continue trip. Great. So you can put it in park or open the door. And when you open the door, by the way, it will put it in park. So I guess that's the key. You have to park the car, whether you open the door to park the car or you park it manually. So now it allows you to continue. Now it allows you to continue your trip. And by the way, this has nothing to do with full self-driving beta. This is the way the waypoints work. It's just I wasn't aware of them or how it operated. So now that we can continue, we'll go ahead and double tap down. First of all, I need to put it into drive. And now double tap down. Oops. All right, there, the steering wheel icon wasn't there yet. So now I can enable it again. All right. So it's going to go forward here. And I'll leave the map data on the screen. I think it's a little bit nicer for people to see where we're going here. Okay, quite a bit of debris there in the road. We just ran over some sticks. I did hear some people were saying that the car is faster to move in these neighborhoods, or at least at spots where there's like a four-way stop and there's no other traffic. Some people were saying that the car reacts a little bit better, or it's faster, but I haven't noticed that yet. It still seems to hesitate. We'll have a lot of opportunity to test that coming up here when we get to this other neighborhood, but this is a fairly busy road. Not too bad right now. Earlier when I was doing this test, it was rush hour, right around 5:15 or so, and it was a lot of traffic. So it came out just fine. There was a car that just passed by there, No issues there. Now this is an interesting one. We had this same issue on Tuesday, and again earlier I ran into this. When it goes through this intersection, it completely stops for this vehicle that's on the right side of the road. And here it is again happening. I'm going to let it do this, okay, because nobody's right behind me. So earlier I had to intervene. Thankfully I didn't this time. So interventions really depend a lot on who's behind you, I've discovered. So it did go through there, but I'm going to have to report that again because it really shouldn't stop there. I don't know why it's doing that. I mean, it's pretty clear, to me at least, that there was a car parked on the side of the road. I don't know if it was stopping specifically for that car or something else, but really not the right thing to do there. And going 30 miles per hour, and then we're going to be turning left, which is going west, back into the sun. So apologies if it's unclear a little bit in the cameras because the sun is awfully bright. It's that time of the evening where we're going to be driving right into the sun, especially when we're going west here. But it is what it is, I guess. So coming up here, we're going to have to get in the left turn lane, and so one thing I've noticed is that it gets in the left turn lane just fine early enough, but it doesn't turn on the turn signal. So that's been an issue ever since 10.3, ever since I started testing on October 24th, 2021. I'm looking forward to the time when that changes, when it can give a little bit more advance notice to the people behind you. So, that's my number one pet peeve, and I've said it again and I'll say it. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, is the nuisance that it provides for the people behind you. So it can just be very awkward sometimes, and it doesn't let people know often what the car is doing. And that's why I did get a bumper sticker that mentions I'm using this full self-driving beta. All right, green arrow. Good to go. Detected that just fine. Coming through this intersection, that guy was way past the line, so it did that just fine. They really shouldn't have been that far forward. So here we are. We've got about a mile on this road, and then we'll be turning right. So already in preparation for that, this is really nice. This is the earliest it's gotten into the right lane. I take that back. I think it actually got over early like this before. Yeah, it did. So that's good. I mean, it's consistent at least, getting over early and passing by this high school.
A few moments later.
So here we are coming up on our final destination fairly soon here. We're going to pass another intersection and then turn right onto Emerson Drive. Okay, and now some clouds are blocking the sun. A little bit easier on the eyes. All right, passing through Springinsguth Road, and then right up here we'll be turning right. Ooh, there was a police there in the parking lot, checking for people speeding and slowing down. Right turn signal goes on, and turning there. No issues there. Okay, great. And coming through this area, we're going to stop and then turn left, and then we'll be in that cul-de-sac. And it'll be an interesting test to see once again if it can get out of the cul-de-sac area. Autopilot creeping forward, checking for visibility. So same thing, it's just slow in these areas. So I am not noticing any improvements in these neighborhood areas. I thought it would be faster to go when there's no traffic, but that is not the case. And arriving. So I'm going to do something that's going to be a little bit interesting. There's a trash bin here, and it's blown over, and it's kind of in the road, but not all the way. So I'm going to move it just very quickly and stealthily, or it's a little bit weird that I'm going to do this, but I'm going to move it so it's blocking the road, and I'm just going to see how the car reacts to it when we come back to this spot. So hold on a second, guys.
A few moments later.
All right, so somebody was just coming home, it looks like, and they're across the street there, and if they saw what I did, they're probably like, what is going on? That guy's weird. So now that we're here, we'll go ahead and dial in the final destination, and we'll see how it does getting us out of here. All right, so as you can see, it's actually showing a U-turn in the display here. So it's saying in 200 feet we have to do a U-turn. So, well, it doesn't say it's a U-turn, but it says it gives the indication we need to turn around. So I'm going to go ahead and double tap down. All right, and here we come. Unable to complete maneuver. Please assist now. Okay, exactly the same as what we came up against on Tuesday. That's cool. So it recognizes I can't do this. You need to do it for me. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to slightly press on the accelerator. See if it can figure it out. I'm going to let go. Still says unable to complete maneuver. Please assist now. A little bit more. Still nothing. Okay, step on it a little bit more. So I'm going to count this as one giant intervention. Okay, almost went into the curb. So I'm going to have to disengage, same as before. I mean, it is saying, you know, please assist anyway. So at least it tells you when it can't do something. But that's obviously not self-driving if that's the case. All right, so now that we've turned it around and oriented it in a position where it can go, you can see ahead the trash bin in the middle of the road that I moved. So it's a very windy day, so trash bins have been blown all over the place. So we're going to go ahead and double tap down, and we're going to see how it does with this. All right, so there's that trash bin, and it's going around it nicely. Very nice. And a car coming at the same time anyway. How about that? All right, and then turning right. Very good. Oh, that's funny. That was actually their trash bin, so I'm glad I got out of there right before they came home. Oh, that would have been embarrassing. Oh, there was the same movement. So it did the same thing as it did on Tuesday. Oh, swerving out of the way for something. And again, kind of ghosts. I don't know what it sees on this road. I'm speculating that it has to do with these tar marks that have covered up some of the cracks in the road. I'm pretty sure that's what it's seeing and interpreting it maybe as lines. But just in that situation, there was a little blip on the screen that showed some object or something. I don't know. It looks like it is picking up something as an obstacle, and it's not interpreting that as a line. All right, great. So now we have to turn left. A little bit of traffic. It's pulling forward. Okay, now if it goes right now, okay, it needs to speed up. There's a car coming right there. Okay, it is speeding up. Nice. Okay, good. Keeping pace with the traffic, going with the flow. I like that. So it made me a little bit nervous because it did have to step on it, and it recognized, oh, this car's coming up pretty quick. I do need to give it some gas or acceleration. You can't say gas when you're driving an electric car. Okay, so in a little bit less than half a mile, we are going to be turning right onto Bodie Road, and then the rest of this trip should be pretty straightforward. Not anticipating any issues. This is a pretty straightforward path. Now, depending on the traffic, it can get a little bit interesting. For example, we have two four-way stops. Actually, one is a three-way stop, but we have two intersections where we're going to be interfacing with other vehicles. So we'll see how it does in those situations. But this one is just a simple right turn, and really don't expect anything unusual here. But I think we're, compared to Tuesday, it's done a little bit better. Not significantly enough for me to say, wow, huge improvement. It drives so much better. And I've seen a lot of people saying that, but I personally haven't witnessed that. And granted, this is my second day of testing it. But, the release notes said that some things had been improved. I'll have to throw those up here just so you can understand what has been improved. And trying to find areas to test where you can witness those improvements is very tough, because a lot of times the improvements are so minor. At least in my opinion, when you read them, it's like, okay, it's hard to find a scenario where you can actually test it to see if it's improved the way they say it has improved. So turning left here, this is that 3-way. So slowing down here, and now we are good to go. Okay, hesitating. Okay, going a little bit too slow. Not sure why it went so slow that time. So yeah, I mean, as far as moving faster through these areas in the residential neighborhoods, I really haven't seen that at all. And I've seen some people, like I said, who have said that it has gotten better. So here it's 20 miles per hour and it slows down to 25, which is what I have dialed in, and I have no problem going slow here. This is a interesting turn. As I mentioned on Tuesday, this turn could never be executed with autopilot, and maybe now it can. I'll have to do that test. The nice thing with Full Self-Driving Beta is when you turn it off, you have the same features that you had when you didn't have it. So I can go back in time more or less to see how the regular normal build compares to, you know, previously when I was using it exclusively. But now we are at this intersection here. This is the 4-way stop I was mentioning, and we have the right to go right now, and hopefully it's going to go. Okay, the other car, okay, is giving me the go-ahead, and I gave him... Okay, so the car really should have gone there, and now it says checking for visibility. I'm just going to report this here, and once again, it's not going. So this is not good at all. And now this other car is coming, nobody behind us. But being very, very strange, it should have gone. I just let 2 people go when it should have gone much, much sooner. So that was not good. I just reported that. I'll report it a 3rd time. I'm not sure why it did that, but yeah. So anyway, that's the video for today. So 10.11.2, not a significant improvement based on 2 drives. So yesterday it was raining, like I said, so much. I couldn't really test it that much, but yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.